I identify with the G in LGBT, what is it?
Identifying as queer right now.
Q, as long as it's taken to mean queer rather than questioning, or possibly the B.
B.
G.
G.
B.
G.
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 The G.
B. Maybe a bit of B. Actually, I don't want a letter. I don't want a letter.
I think my first gay thought was about 12. Like I think I was always aware it was a bit different from about the age of 7.
From when I started having any sexual thoughts at all, really.
I had my first, what I call the inciting incident, when I was 12.
And I just remember this woman shoving another woman against the wall during the opening credits, and I remember thinking, that's really hot. And then I remember thinking, oh, okay.
Probably around 8. I had a subscription to Smash Hits magazine, and I definitely remember liking all the boys more than the girls.
The first time I came out to someone, I was probably about 17. Her first reaction was just that, oh my god, why is everyone gay? And that wasn't the best. So I didn't really tell people for a while after that.
I spoke to my friend Jess, who's a lesbian. My friend Rosie burst through the door, kind of doing the crab, going, we're all lesbians! Yeah, so my friends are quite accepting, I guess.
It was at the University of York on chemistry camp, so it was all a bit of an exotic experience, but something that was definitely contained. Literally like a couple of days after I realised, I was like, told everyone. When I actually told people, they were a bit like, yeah, I know.
One girl said she was mad because she didn't get to sing come out wherever you are. I think everyone just knew.
The first time I probably had a proper conversation about it was like 17, I think. 2 of my friends in a bath.
I got tap water on my back.
I can't remember how I phrased it now, but basically I said it was a bit of a bender, and then the train broke down, and then it just about half an hour some like 14-year-old chubby girls taking the piss out of me.
I was about 12 and I was discussing it in written format in an English lesson in the back of my book. My mum used to steal my school books and read them, and then she goes, and by the way, darling, you're not bisexual. It's okay to be friends with girls. And I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, friends, that's what I want with girls.
One of my friends used to love calling me a fudge packer, mainly because I used to work in a sweet shop.
My mum knows I'm gay, but I never actually came out.
And I didn't come out to my mum, she just kind of guessed.
By virtue of various evidence found underneath my bed.
There was a moment when my mum walked in on enough to know I was definitely gay.
I'd see her slip me the eyes every time that like Galaxy advert hunk came on the screen and see what I'd do.
I never actually officially came out to my dad. I like asked him one day if he would care if I was gay, and he was like, oh, I don't care. And then I told my mom one day in my first year of high school, in the middle of a conversation about gardening, just because I felt like it.
The first people I told were my parents, and it went really, really well. Like, I was having a bad time at school about it, and I kind of wanted someone to do something about it.
Oh, actually, to my mum, I did it in quite an amusingly dramatic way. I wrote it on my wall when she came into my room, which is pretty drama queen.
I was really drunk and we were on holiday, and I thought that he'd hired a spy to find out if I was gay or not. I broke down the door to his hotel room at 4 o'clock in the morning and woke up all the guests.
I just knew that all I had to do was walk through and just say it, but like it just took a really long time to do that. And eventually I was just like, fuck it. Walked in and then like sat down casually and was just like, yeah, so you guys know that I'm gay, right?
My dad was much more understanding than my mum, but my mum she wasn't hostile, she was just very quiet.
Well, my relationship with this girl was going on when my dad was ill with cancer. So it didn't really last very long, and I didn't get to tell him. So I called my mom and told her that this girl, who she knew her name because she was my friend, isn't speaking to me, and we kissed at the dance, and I'm bi, by the way.
I didn't really feel the need to have an awkward, I want to tell you something, sit down at the kitchen table kind of conversation.
So, Mum, Dad, if you're watching this, surprise. I guess I'm afraid of their reaction, particularly my mum's, is she's quite religious.
The worst thing about being LGBTQ is...
Don't know, it's just the potential of not being able to necessarily have a family of your own.
It's not a nice feeling to feel like with someone in your family they might have an issue with something that's part of your personality.
Like I have been teased and I've been sort of like shouted at and like accosted in certain ways.
Like a lot of people would be calling me gay before I already knew.
There have been moments where I've been grouped with straight girls, where in my head I think, I'm a boy, why am I not with the boys?
There was nobody openly gay. There was one guy that joined my school who was bisexual and got bullied out in a week.
All 14, 15-year-olds are just complete fucktards, and then having that as well just makes you into a proper state.
Crew dates actually is one quite a thing where you don't get invited. But unless there's some kind of like mandatory orgy at the end that no one's told me about, I can still eat dinner.
People are either like, oh, you're actually gay, or oh, you're actually straight, or oh, you're just confused, you don't know what you want.
Oh, you just want to like sleep around with a different group of people.
Or thinking that you must be a complete freak. That's not fun.
People have such like strongly defined views of what you are and what you should be, that as soon as they know, like, their whole opinion of you completely changes. Like, I don't think it's like a massive part of my personality or anything. I think it's like my sexuality, that's it.
So I spent most of my teenage years in places where homosexuality is illegal. These places define homosexuality as only between men, and so there's kind of complete disbelief by the governments I was living under in the fact that I even existed, like, that my sexuality was a real thing.
Best thing about being LGBTQ is
gay pride. It's the best thing ever. That's my tag.
You can never assume anything about people. A society that assumes that everyone is straight and you're not, then you're constantly challenging everything about that.
It's the moment where you sort of just accept it, and then the difference between before you accepted being bisexual and afterwards, and how like happier it makes me feel as a person is just nice.
Like having to deal with that kind of challenge earlier in life is quite helpful and does like teach you to deal with things better, I think.
Wadham especially has been such a supportive place and such a kind and loving place.
The people here are so accepting, the people from my program are so accepting.
Our LGBT community is a really strong part of Wadham as well, and you can see its influences on kind of the rest of college life.
So many queer events, it's so crazy, there's such a great community here.
And stuff like Queer Week and Queer Fest.
like they flew the rainbow flag above, like it's the first time Oxford College has ever done it in history last year. And I just think that's absolutely fantastic, and when we tried to get it to happen again this year, they were just like, yeah, go ahead, do it.
My ex-boyfriend, he told me that it was the gay college, and I was like, oh, and used to rip it out of me for going to Bender College.
Just like, there's the odd person in a club who makes some sneery comment about, oh, Wadham, isn't that the gay college? And then sort of you feel like there's a bit of a judgmental atmosphere, but that's like once in a blue moon.
I feel like it's a lot harder here, just in the sense where in Miami and New York, which are the only two places I've ever lived, no one really even thinks about being gay. So like I've never really been that conscious of it, and I'm a lot more conscious of it here because you're much more of a minority.
I've never lived in a country where it's even been legal since I knew that I was queer, and so that's great.
My mom and I just walked around the city, and I remember seeing two guys holding hands and two girls holding hands, and I told my mom, look, look, look.
I have more straight friends than I ever have before, which is probably a weird thing to have when you arrive at Wadham.
Isn't it great? It means something when you move to a town where people can do that openly and they have no problem with it.
So I always knew that it would be fantastic, and it has been exceeded my expectations. I've loved it, like every minute of it.
It is just like a big, strange, dysfunctional, great family.
It's hard to think where I'll be in life that I'll have that kind of support network again.
I don't think there's many places in the country where it can be better to be gay.